Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Wyrock, and today's episode is on transgender regret. What does love look like? It's from an article that was in the New York Times recently about a choreographer in New York who was born a woman but has transitioned to become a man. And as an artist, a choreographer is creating a show that identifies their struggle with wanting to have a child. In other words, with the biological urge of maternity existing within the new construct of masculinity. These stories are becoming all too familiar. They're coming out more and more as we are now kind of on the back half of the wave of gender dysphoria and transgenderism. What we're finding is that as men transition to become women, or women transition to become men, they never fully shake their femininity or their masculinity. They can't fully escape their intended original biology. Of course, that brings up a different question, because what evangelical Christians have been told is that when we say to someone who's experiencing gender dysphoria that they should come to peace with their bodies and their gender from birth, not go seeking gender change, we are told we are being unloving, we're being unkind, we're being oppressive, that we're causing damage. And it is true that the way we have said those things in the past can lead to negative outcomes. Saying the truth in an ugly way is never okay. It's not something the Bible legitimizes or calls us to. But I can't help every time I read one of these stories to say, actually, the unloving thing to do in the lives of these people is encouraging them to lean into the gender dysphoria. That as this now man is wrestling with a very natural and good desire to have children as a biological woman, so many people lied to this person along the way, leaned into something that was unhealthy and not good for them, that now leads them in a spot where there are no easy answers. There is no way out. Gender dysphoria is a phenomenon over the last 50 years or so. I don't mean that it didn't exist before. It's just become a hot button issue. There are no biological studies that will tell you that gender dysphoria is rooted in our physiology. And typically what we would say is when we can't root something in physiology, we would root it instead in psychology. Gender dysphoria, based on the science, is something much more akin to like anorexia, which is the state of a person who is not overweight, feeling as though they are overweight, and that feeling being so real to them and so compelling that they actually will do violence to their body in order to become what they think they need to be. Of course, all of us know that when you're engaging and loving an anorexic, you should do two things. Number one, you should validate their feelings. They feel overweight. That is their reality. We can't talk them out of it. That is how they feel. But the second thing is we should love them and tell them the truth. You might feel overweight, but you're not. And these things you're doing to your body are ultimately destroying you, and we want to help you out of them, not into them. That's the same with gender dysphoria. Because it is a psychological reality, our message to people should be two things. Number one, I know this is how you feel. I legitimize, I believe you when you say you feel as though you should be a woman or you should be a man. I believe you. But the second thing is these feelings are not real. And loving you means helping you make good choices, not destructive choices to your body or to your life. If you do that, you will come to regret it. And the data and the anecdotes seem to be pointing in that direction more and more and more. Really, this podcast is for us as evangelical Christians to tell us that we are not being unloving when we tell the truth. We are not being unkind when we question the validity of making destructive medical decisions based on a psychological difficulty. I really believe that in 50 years, it will be those who legitimized what is illegitimate who have an apology to make, not us. Again, we need to be loving, we need to be kind, we need to be winsome, but we also need to tell the truth. The God who made you the way you're supposed to be, and you might feel out of step with that. but we need to love you enough to tell you that reality is reality and to work with you to get there. Let's hope that in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, there are fewer and fewer stories of regret and unloving people who helped someone make destructive choices. Let's be more loving than that. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to get future content from Wake Up Look Up and from Christ Community Chapel. And while you're here, check out the other videos we have available.